that I want to serve is a nation that has a checkered history. Many of you will remember how we gained our independence, how we suffered through the different civil wars and the food rationing, as well as the insecurity. How Ugandans jointly liberated our countrymen and women from suffering. At this point, it would be unwise not to take the opportunity to acknowledge that Uganda in the past has been served by President Kabaka Edward Mutesa II, Dr. Milton Obote, Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada, Professor Yusuf Lule, President Godfrey Binayisa, General Tito Okello Lutwa, and most recently, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Each one of them has received their fair share of praise and criticism, but I'll leave that judgment to the Ugandans and history. No matter how good a leader is, leadership is intergenerational. And this is the time that the old generation has to hand over the baton of leadership to our generation. Uganda has never had a peaceful transition of power, and this time we can have one. This is the time the young population of Uganda demonstrates to the world what a blessing it is. This is the time unemployment of the youth is annihilated through new knowledge and new technology. This is the time the new challenges in the region like integration requires energy of body, mind, and spirit. The new challenges in Africa, the world, and the fourth industrial revolution all require new energy, new technology, and new thinking. How glorious and joyful it would be for this generation to hand over the reins of leadership to their sons and daughters for whom they fought to liberate as they retire to be advisors in the background. I avail myself to my country, Uganda, offering service and leadership at this opportune time, not for the sake of diversity, but I ascend to the podium because of the conviction born within my heart, the vision of what I aspire to see, and the passion that inspires me. I am the embodiment of the change that Uganda needs in the third decade of the 21st century, as we focus on Sustainable Development Goals, Africa Agenda 2063, and Uganda's Vision 2040. I come to you because Uganda has need for a new energy, a crisp and renewed leadership that will underpin her unity in diversity, a leadership that gives pride and place to each of the 56 nationalities in Uganda, true ministration to each of my fellow compatriots with integrity, inclusiveness, openness, and accountability for all across all barriers of ethnicity, political affiliation, or religion. I will serve as the Good Shepherd in the knowledge that a fish usually starts rotting from the head, which is captured effectively in my mother tongue. Ekyenda kitera kuvunda nga kiva ku mutwe. Uganda in the last 57 years of independence attempted to make critical strides in health, education, sports, ITC, and other sectors. But there is still a lot to be done in these areas. Despite the best intentions of leaders, they have run their course, and whatever else they promise to do only amounts to what Henry David Thoreau, the poet, described as an improved means to an unimproved end. They can change the means, but the end does not change. Fellow Ugandans, I come to you to serve because this land Uganda, once famously described as the Pearl of Africa, needs fresh ideas. I embody freshness as informed by my experience in women empowerment, entrepreneurship, media, tourism, advertising, the service industry, banking and finance, agriculture and agro-processing. It is only a fresh Uganda that will make her people prosper economically, socially, politically, and make Uganda a key player in the East African community, Africa, and the world as a whole. Integrity is paramount because if you have to manage finances, if you have to manage resources, then you have no excuse for it. Unfortunately, our political leaders have let us down because they have continued to divide us. They've continued to take care of some and not others. And for this reason, I thought to sit back and continue watching the politicians do what they do would be very wrong. It is said that it is the fault of the good people when bad things happen and they keep silent. I am tired of keeping silent, and I'm coming to offer my service. In the corporate world, they teach us servant leadership because we learn to respect authority, we learn to treat subordinates with kindness and respect. And I think this is the kind of leader that Uganda needs right now. Opposition has for long discussed the issue of fronting a single candidate. This single candidate is meant to be an ultimate weapon to kick this current government out of power. It is a good idea, but is it a great idea? The great idea is for opposition to change their mindset and come out of thinking they're opposition. We are all Ugandans. Whether you want change or not, we are all Ugandans. Ugandans, therefore, should come together and change the bad leadership that has brought Uganda to where it is now, and quit labels that are going to continue to divide. Because if you come as opposition, it means you've annihilated anybody who is under the ruling party. There are good people in NRM, but maybe they are stuck in a system they cannot come out of. Saying we are opposition against the ruling party annihilates even the good leaders that are in NRM. As Mission 56, we would like to bring together all the good leaders, regardless of where you come from. And we focus on making Uganda a better country and not cause labels, because labels only continue in dividing us. Propaganda will come up with all kinds of stories. Jesus was talked about and framed as a blasphemer. He did not justify himself. Many years later, we know he was not blasphemous. We know he was who he was. I am not going to try and prove and explain myself that I've been paid or not paid. I will let Ugandans see for themselves, and I will let history judge. Because right now, that is not something that you can explain and convince anyone. I will let life and time justify me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Uganda for the last 34 years has had a lot of male candidates that have been swallowed up in the elections. There have been more male candidates who have been swallowed up by the current government and have been pushed aside. I don't see any male candidate who has been successful in the last 34 years. To single out women is to continue dividing us as Ugandans. Whether male or female, there is no single candidate who has been successful against the current ruler. So I beg to disagree with that particular question, because that means it is singling out. And for us, we are not leaving anyone behind, whether male or female. You see, running for presidency in Uganda means you're running for the presidency of the seat of Uganda, and you're going to serve all Ugandans. I hail from a group known as Mission 56. We have 56 nationalities in Uganda, what we call tribes. And our biggest challenge has been division. We've had division by tribe, division by religion, and division lately by political party. We cannot have development, whether socially or economically, when we still have these divisions internally. So when a presidential aspirant comes forth, the expectation is that they are going to serve the whole country. And their votes, therefore, should come from North, Central, East, and West, the whole of Uganda. To specifically ask why she didn't get votes from Eastern Uganda would be to continue promoting the things that we are trying to fight as Mission 56. And the issue should have been, maybe why wasn't she successful as a presidential aspirant? I'm from the East, yes, but I don't expect that only the Easterners are going to vote for me, because I'm coming to serve Ugandans.